Hello again. I wanted to talk about card spreads and how important I think they are, and a good way to look at a card spread. And I think it's it's one of those things you don't ever see it. You don't see the card spread. You see the cards that are laid into it, unless you're reading about it in a book or something. Otherwise, you don't see the spread. So to look at it and study it, I think, is important. Card spreads are questions. They're aspects of the question itself. Different ways of seeing the question, whatever it is you're looking into. So having a good one card spread that works for any question you could look into, I think it's a real advantage to have that. And the way I have my Celtic cross laid out, I think does that very well. I have YouTubes on it. It's in my books. So it's all over the place. But any spread that you feel will answer any question, if you could just work with one card spread and keep that spread and use it for every reading you do, I think you really got something. And but looking at a card spread as aspects of the question, I think really comes in handy as far as the effectiveness of your reading. You know, to think about reading is just like talking. If you were talking with a friend about a question, something that they had on their mind, and what would you do? What would you talk? Well, what's your problem? What's going on? That's like positions 1 and 2 of the Celtic cross that I use. What's going on? And how do you feel about it? That's position 7. How the client sees their own question. And so what are you going to do right now? What are you doing right now about it? That's position 3. What's the first things? First things first, what I'm trying to accomplish here. That's position 4. Things to keep in mind that you got going for you that'll help you with this. That's position 5. What's coming up that you can work on to get this closer to home where you want it to be? That's position 6, opportunities. Positions 8 is the timing. Looking at it as what are we going to do? How are we going to act? I have it called timing, but it's not so much just the timing, but how you're going to react to this in some way when the time is right can be blended in with that position as well. So when's a good time to act? Position 8. What are you going to do when you do act? Position 8. What kind of actions you got to take? Position 9 is ultimately what I want to get accomplished. And position 10 is things to look for while this is going on, things you can anticipate as this progresses forward, things to watch for, warnings, things to watch for, opportunities, even it'll help your opportunities in position 6. Things that might be an asset, might be something to your advantage, or things that can be avoided that are going to be working against you. So position 10 is details, fine-tuning things. I think it's real good to take your card spread and write it down on paper, diagram it out on a piece of paper, and look at it, the aspects, and say, okay, these are the things we're going to look into about this situation. And then look at those aspects about it without throwing any cards down first. Just knowing the situation and then looking at this situation without any cards at all. Like we just did, me talking about it. Just like you're talking to a friend. And I think what this does is it gives you more insight about what those positions are. And lots of times you can come up with ideas. You don't need the cards. But after you have some concept about what's happening here and what you think is probably going to have to be done, then we throw cards into those positions to spark ideas and see things that we didn't see before. But first, looking at it, just straight looking at it, without anything, I think is very helpful. Card spreads just aspects that will be helpful to find answers to something. So looking at it, and you'll do that. You'll start to look as you're hearing about what you're going to read about from your client, what's happening. This is what's going on. You're going to be thinking in terms of those positions, even though you haven't thrown any cards yet. In your mind, so the first minute of the reading, all those things I just talked about, you're going to cover in your head that quick. And just ideas, just sounds like this is what's going on, this is what's happening. This is how you're feeling about it. And that gives you more of an insight on what it is you're actually doing with this card reading before you even lay a card down. You're looking at their question as a card spread in your mind because you know that card spread like the back of your hand. Was she saying here or was she saying there? Oh, that's position 6. Or position 7 in relation to positions 1 and 2. Things I'm going to question, or things I'm going to look into, or things that we should watch for as we're looking into this reading. And then you throw cards down. And like I've said in other videos, the card spread is something that really we don't look much into it because you don't ever see it. You don't ever see a card spread. You see the cards that are placed into it, but the card spread is how you're seeing the question itself, how you're approaching looking at this question. And it's important. It's an important factor of the whole situation. So after you got that, then you can take cards and put them in these positions to spark ideas, to show you things that you didn't think of in that first minute of the reading. So a good way to look at it is think of it like I said, you're talking to a friend of yours who wants to talk to you about something's on their mind. And you're not using any cards, you're just talking to them. And you're asking them, so what's happening? What's going on? And how do you feel about this? What are you going to do? What's your plans? What are you doing right now? What are you trying to get done first? First before anything, I got to take care of this before I can go into this. Because ultimately, I want this over here. And what do you got going for you? These are the things you're going to be talking about with your friend. These are the things you'll be talking about with your client, too. Only it's categorized in a more mechanical way with a card spread. So if you think of a card spread as just a conversation that I'm covering these aspects with, it'll help you make things more clear. So have a consistent card spread that you feel will be helpful to any question you're looking into. Learn it like the back of your hand. And then you can use the cards with it. And I think I think that's just as important as memorizing card meanings. If anything, it's probably even more important. Because card meanings are not consistent from one source to another. And it also depends on the deck you're using, and things like that. As far as the deck goes, any deck you like is fine. Any card spread is fine as long as it covers things consistently, no matter what the question is. So, I think it's a good idea to look at a card spread that way. Look at the reading that the person you're reading, look at it, look at this situation through the card spread before you even lay a card down in it. Know that card spread so well that you're just thinking in terms of the card spread. How am I going to answer this? We're going to find answers to what? What are we finding answers to? What aspects of this question are we finding answers to? And I think it'll help you. So I thought I'd mention that. I'm getting a lot of responses on my quick reference card. I only made, I think, 2 YouTubes with this. But it's a card I have, it's a bookmark. So it goes in your book. If you're reading a book on tarot cards, it's the card meanings. One-word card meanings for the minors, one-word card readings for the majors. Minors on one side, majors on the other. And it's handy if you're learning the tarot cards because you just keep it in your book. And it comes in handy. So what I did is I put in 2 YouTubes I mentioned if you bought one of my books and you wanted to leave a comment, if you leave a comment on the book, an honest comment, rate it, star rating, 5 star, 1 star, whatever you think, and then let me know through an email that you did this with your address along with your Amazon name so I can confirm that you did this. I will drop one of these in the mail to you and you'll have it. You could be the first on your block to have one of my quick reference bookmarks, tarot card meanings. So the link's at the bottom here to my website where you can email me with that. And put on one of my books, rate it, let me know you did, and I'll send you one of those. Put it in the mail the next day. But card spread, find a good card spread, find one you like. I have YouTubes on my Celtic Cross, I think it's a good one. It's also in my books. And know it like the back of your hand. And think of it, looking at that question, before you even throw any cards into it, just in your mind, think of those aspects of this question through that card spread. What I'm going to be looking at in this situation is through these aspects of that card spread. And what do I see about it before I even throw any cards down? So I hope you like this. Keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon.